Hey guys, today we're going to be doing a first impressions on the IT Cosmetics CC Cream. This is something that has been super requested on my channel and something I've wanted to try for a really long time, but until somewhat recently, it was just launched at Sephora, which meant that I could easily order it. This brand isn't like super easily available in Canada. So I got this during the Sephora VIP sale, so I got to save a little bit of money. And I got the shade Fair, which is the palest shade that you can buy. What I've heard of this foundation is that it is more of a foundation than it is actually a CC cream. I've heard that it is pretty full coverage, but it also has some benefits to it, like the SPF 50, and it also says plus anti-aging hydrating serum, which I'm a little bit weary of just because of my oily skin, but we will see. So it says it's supposed to be used with an IT Cosmetics foundation brush, although I do not have that. So I'm going to use this e.l.f. powder blurring brush, and even though it's meant for powder, it is like decently dense. It says to use 1 to 2 pumps, so I've got 2 there. The shade looks pretty good actually. I would say it's more of a neutral leaning yellow shade. It's definitely not super pink. It smells very strongly like lemon meringue. I mean, it smells good, but if you don't like your makeup to smell like food, you might not enjoy it very much. It's definitely feeling like a creamy formula, definitely not liquidy at all. So far, I'm feeling like this is not full coverage. Okay, so here we have it on just half of my face. You know, it looks a lot better and nicer than the side with nothing on it. Although I'm not saying that it's making my skin texture look better. I feel like the texture on, you know, both sides of my face are still like the same. For example, you know, I just feel like, you know, it didn't blur my pores at all. It just kind of looks the same. Not that I think that's necessarily a bad thing. Like, I feel like this side of my face has all the same flaws as this side, but just like better coverage in terms of the color and, you know, the evenness of the tone of my skin. So I think the brush application actually worked pretty good. I don't have a clean sponge right now, and since the directions actually said to use a brush, I think I'm just going to continue with that. All right, so now it's on my entire face. You know, it looks really nice. It looks very natural. It's not matte and it's not too shiny, dewy either. I still can feel it on my face. It is slightly tacky, but it's not too sticky. I just feel like it would transfer at this very moment. It probably will take a little while to dry down, if at all. Everything I said earlier is true. Like, it did not smooth my wrinkles. It didn't really smooth my pores. It just makes my skin still look like skin, but, you know, more evenly colored. Keep in mind that I'm not wearing a primer or anything, so maybe I could have smoothed my pores that way. I'm not a super fan of primer anyway, so I don't know if I would like wearing something underneath of this, because this already feels not heavy, but it feels like a moisturizer already. So I'm not sure that I would want to layer moisturizer and primer and a product like this. But yeah, I think you can kind of see what I mean. Like, the texture between my eyebrows is not smoothed. You know, little tiny micro wrinkles on my forehead are not disappeared. I do think it is a medium coverage. I tried to build it in a couple spots and I felt like it just wasn't sticking. And I also had some issues with the foundation like sticking to my nose. Like, I felt like I had to really pat it on because when I was just like buffing, it wasn't really sticking to my face very well. I know it sounds like I'm really nitpicking on this product, but I've just heard so many good things about it. And I don't think it's bad. I actually like it. I think it looks really nice for that kind of your skin but better. I just kind of wish that it did that extra step of maybe smoothing my pores or, you know, making my texture look a bit less. I still feel like it hasn't really set down, although the side that I did first is less tacky, so that gives me hope that eventually it will dry down. I don't think I'm going to powder this. I usually don't in my first impression videos because I want to be able to see how it wears on its own, and that way I can make a recommendation to say, okay, you need a powder with this, versus already putting on a powder and not really knowing if I even needed it. So it is 11 o'clock in the morning right now. I'm going to lunch with Paul and we are gonna be probably out and about all day. Definitely be checking in at the end of the night to see how it held up on my oily skin and kind of what skin types I would recommend this product for. Hopefully it doesn't crease too bad. Like, I think you can kind of see on my eyelids right now, you know, it's definitely creasing there, but we shall see. Hey guys, I am back. I've had the It Cosmetics CC cream on for a little over 6.5 hours, not quite 7 hours. I'm about to lose my daylight, so I wanted to give the check-in now. So I want to start out by saying that I'm not totally disappointed because I feel like I'm not that oily. It probably didn't control oil like insanely well, but I am not that shiny for being an oily skinned person. I feel like when I wear other foundations, even ones that I really like, I do end up getting more shiny by this point. And it also like stayed on pretty well. Like, I feel like the coverage didn't fade all that much, except for in some places on my nose where it separated. You know, I can start to see some redness poking through. The downsides of this foundation CC cream is that it definitely settled into some of my lines. For example, you may or may not be able to see, focus. You might be able to see, like, it definitely settled a little bit into like that line right there. It settled a little bit into these lines as well. And under my eyes, and I didn't use concealer. You can see like where I was wearing my glasses, like it did push the foundation around a little bit. Also, as kind of an update to earlier, it did eventually set down to about 90%, I would say. It doesn't feel like super tacky anymore. It probably set after about 20 minutes. All in all, I like this product. I just don't love this product. I think, you know, it looks like skin, you know, it did even everything out. It didn't feel too heavy. You know, the coverage is nice. I really enjoy that medium coverage that it gives. I just feel like it didn't go that extra mile for me, you know? It wasn't bad, but it didn't make my skin look any better than it is, other than just evening out my skin tone. So I think if you have dry, normal to combination skin, you'd really like this. If you're super oily, I don't think this is going to be like a holy grail product or anything. Although, having said that, it definitely didn't make me more oily than I normally would be. I'd also just take a little bit of caution with this if you have like a lot of fine lines, because I do feel like it did settle quite a bit. Anyway, that is the end of this little review. I hope that you guys enjoyed. I hope it was helpful. So give this video a thumbs up if you like foundation reviews. I actually have another one to do. I don't know where in the world you can buy this. I went to the Showcase store, which is kind of like an as seen on TV store, but they also sell like a bunch of other random stuff. And I found this Water Me Please BB Aqua Luster Concealer Roller BB Cream. I would say this is kind of like maybe an Asian kind of skincare makeup product that everybody's super into. So I kind of want to do a video on this only because I have literally no idea like what it is. So give a thumbs up if you want to see a video on this random thing. And I'll see you guys in my next video.